Welcome to It's Your Business, a program designed to highlight our local small businesses who participate in contracting and procurement opportunities at Houston City College. I'm your host, Veronica Douglas. Joining us today is Avva Thatch, Chief Executive Officer at Avva Thatch Management Consulting. Avva partners with organizations worldwide to accelerate business transformation, drive innovation, and lead human-centered change, even in the most complex environments. Avva is the best-selling author of Decisive Leadership, Transforming Complex Challenges into Competitive Edge, and an acclaimed TEDx keynote speaker. Avva's firm brings global expertise in business transformation, delivering AI-powered solutions, leadership development, strategic consulting, and corporate training, all grounded in neuroscience and industry best practices. With a passion for empowering leaders and teams to thrive amid rapid change, Avva Thatch AI Consulting helps clients unlock measurable results and achieve sustainable growth. Welcome, Avva. Thank you so much for joining us today on It's Your Business.
Thank you very much, Veronica, for such a kind introduction. Wow, I'll bring you with me everywhere.
Well, Avva, again, I'm just thrilled to have you here with us today. But tell our audience a little bit more about yourself and your background.
Thank you for the question. So I am someone who really hone into that compassion and communications throughout my career. I've noticed how important having that effective communication through the way of listening and just sometimes really listened and show our compassion really help along the way. And that's based everything in what I do in my business. When I first started out, I came from Vietnam. I was born and raised, and I didn't know how to speak English. So communication became even more important to me. And because of that, also continuous learning is super important to me. And I carried those out with me throughout my career, working with leaders, teams in digital transformation. Those are the ones that really help us to look into clients and customer insight to help deliver result while making employees happy.
So, how long have you been in business?
My company have established since 2019, but in practice, I started out probably last year.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. So, what is the mission of your consulting company?
Our mission is really to help leaders and companies to achieve their business outcome by, just like you say, bringing down that complexity into that clarity. And we bring in that scalable frameworks from my experience working with management consulting, from coaching executive leaders, from training the teams. And we have a process that standardized throughout organizations, but with the tailored in mind to help each company's DNA to do so. Organizations really want to adopt change to help leaders to sustain it as well. And that's through measurable outcomes and with both making sure that employees are happy and the clients achieving their outcomes.
Well, I know in May of this year, you launched a new app called iAva. It's an AI coach. Tell us about your new app.
Yes, I'm really excited. And this is rooted into my experience. I have over 1,500 hours of coaching with leaders and team on day-to-day basis. So this app, Ava AI Coach, really exists to help leaders to improve self-reflections, and you can access it 24/7. And that's the whole point of not having to call the coach, if you don't have access to the coach immediately. Now, it's not to replace a coach because that's what I do on like a day-to-day basis to help leaders, but it's really help you with daily prompts and rooted in your science and international coaching federation standards and principle. And it's really helped to build your habits and help leaders to increase that decisive leadership. It also help goal trackings. Every conversation is about what is your goal, what is your vision, and bringing this with different tailor program to leaders and teams' needs is really help with that both personal and professional and business outcome. And also have lots of features like analytics dashboard. It's designed to help people to both have mentor and um, coach modes, and it's available in 19 language. I could go on and on, but it's really uh, a lot of the time when I'm on the call with leaders and they told me, Ava, um, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that after the sessions, it's helped me to achieve the outcome that I never thought. And these are leaders, and a lot of them get promotions because of that as well. So the power of self-reflections, it's important in training. It helps, but this app really reinforce the learning. Even just 5 minutes a day can really make a difference in self-reflection.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, the daily prompts are 5 minutes long every day, and the app is in 19 different languages. And there's also two different modes. You can be in coach mode or mentor mode.
Yes, exactly. And it is completely compliant, enterprise grade compliance and secured for a ethical AI adoption.
So if someone is interested in an official product demo, how can they demo your new app?
Oh, that is a great question. So reach out to me on my website, reach out to me on LinkedIn, and also there is a link. Um, Hopefully will be sent out today uh, on a demo. It has like probably almost over 9,000 people like it and view it. So that's one example, but definitely let's connect via LinkedIn or on the website. You'll find a way to book with me.
So what do you think is the biggest misconception that, executive have about the adoption of AI platforms?
Well, that's another good question. The conception is that as long as AI is great, but we have grown through this period for a long time, and AI alone is not enough. We have to look at what is the actual business outcome that we want to achieve. Does it make sense to use AI? What is the current technology or solution we have right now? How do we fill that gap? We do a lot of reverse engineering. AI or not AI, it has to come with developing business outcome first and really have to improve the lives of clients, customers, employees in some way. And having that reverse engineering, looking at the end problem we're trying to solve first, and then looking back and see, okay, how can AI improve this process? Whether it's redundancy, I do a lot of work in energy, healthcare, and different areas of the business. So first look at what value are we delivering, and then look at also that coaching questions. How might we to improve it? Then we think about integrating data with, existing um, numbers, historical data, as well as, doing survey to really bringing that comprehensive 360 view before we implement AI adoption.
So are there any other, ideas or determinations that you use to kind of, determine if AI will be successful, in an enterprise environment?
Uh, yes, that's a good question. So there are a few, that I mentioned. Like, first of all, let's look at what's existing in the environment right now. What problem are we trying to solve? What kind of data do we have? Do we have clean data? And at the end, like, are we trying to solve a repetitive problems, or is this one can be done by the current processes, like looking at the top 20% of the problem that can bring that 80% result in a nutshell.
Well, thank you, Ava, for touching on your new app. I want to take a quick break, and then when we return, I want to discuss your book, Decisive Leadership, as well as some other strategy and leadership initiatives that you have in place. So we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll finish our conversation with Ava Thatch.
Why wait on your dream job? At Houston Community College, tuition is only $33 per credit hour, with flexible schedules, over 100 programs, and campuses across Houston. HCC makes it easy and affordable. Your future for less. Houston Community College. Move your future forward.
I'm a hairdresser. I'm a beauty expert. I'm Ken Pavis. My mom was always there for me and always reminded me that I was enough. We received a phone call confirming that my mom had ALS. It really felt like a death sentence, so we avoided it. My mom and I have learned to find happiness in ALS. It makes me realize even more what it could never take away from her. Together we can end ALS.
At First Tee, we teach kids how to play golf, but that's not our end game. Golf is simply our means to teach life lessons that build inner strength, self-confidence, and resilience.
It's more than a game. It helps them be more independent, more secure. It has given them more confidence, and I think that helps them with everything else.
Come join us at First Tee.
Art is hard.
But not as hard as living in an over-policed community.
Art is hard.
But not as hard as accessing mental health resources.
Art is hard.
But not as hard as being uprooted by gentrification.
At Artistic Noise, art creates a community for system-impacted youth
to be seen
and heard.
Learn more at artisticnoise.org.
Welcome back, and we are continuing our conversation with Avva Thatch, who is the CEO of Avva Thatch Management Consulting. And Ava, before I move on and start talking about your book, I'm really interested to know, what is a common reason, that transformation initiatives stall? And, when you see that stalling process is taking place, how do you get everything back moving?
That is another very good question. So there's common reasons, a lot of them due to silos. A lot of time we have different departments like technology departments and business departments that not really communicate effectively. And as a result, we, when we communicate the business value, it does not get to translate into the right platform in digital transformation. Another common problem is when there is a fear of change, and I get it. We are humans, and change is hard, right? But the thing is, the world's not waiting for us. The technology keep going. There is a development in AI that is not going to go anywhere. But when we're not catching up enough with upskill ourselves with technology, we're not really get informed decisions. So these are the two main reasons. There are many more that's kind of snowballed from this. But yeah, silos and ineffective communication, as well as not catching up fast enough with the change in the market.
So, you did mention, silos and the resistance to change. So what is your go-to strategy for overcoming this resistance, at the middle management level? Because I know you're a seasoned consultant and you deal with these types of issues all the time. So what is your go-to strategy to get, overcome that resistance to change?
Yeah, that is another really good question. For middle managers, a lot of time we're not owning the product. You're more like owning the system. You're working with both with leaderships and the team. So you're like the liaison of the two. So it is a harder things to achieve because it's not concrete. It's a lot of time I work with managers and they're like, Ava, it feels like herding cat. And it's like a little more steps. But it's just like the process of, going through any changes is understanding what's important for the managers, what is the objective that is set out for the group. Every time I help managers to really hone back into this is why your team exists, this is why the business outcome, let's use that as as a starting point, and then I help them to coach them to bring in that um, facilitation on the teams, understand the strength and weakness of the team, capabilities of the team, and also coach them to coach their own team members to understand how do we together partner create that personal objective and key result for the teams that tie in both business as well as personal to motivate them and really be there for them.
Well, as I mentioned, you're a seasoned consultant and you developed an app this year, but you are also a best-selling author. And your book, as I said earlier, is called Decisive Leadership. What is the main message in your book?
So the main message is to how do we really tackle complexity and turn it into value propositions advantage for business. Undeniable. We're all facing with changes now, with uncertainty. And the book is really bringing that framework, product mindset, but weaving into that human element. How do we bring in that framework, but also work with humans, with people to really move the needles and change. So there has a lot of the deep impact framework that I talk about. There is a long different steps, but it's incorporate both of that strategic OKR, objective key result, as well as that communication piece, that coaching piece to really help people to learn about self-awareness and how do we communicate um, in a more human way to move things forward to develop, innovation.
So how do you think, younger professionals, students that are just kind of starting out their career, how can they, apply the decisive leadership principles when they don't really have any formal authority or maybe work experience yet?
That's another great question. So I am teaching at a university here, at one of the Texas university here, and I bring in all my corporate experience. I teach them first and foremost how to communicate their goals, missions at the very beginning of the year. I form them into a team and help them to gain skill set of the IT project managers because that's encompass like the communication skills, how do they show up, and really help them to speak like a TEDx. So basically I have their midterm and final presentations where they really have to work together as a group to also do all the things that I mentioned. How do you work? How do you arrive when things get difficult? What is your group working agreement? Who's doing what? How do you be there for one another? And I teach them to make sure that in the world of working now, you're not going to be alone. You're going to be working across functional and you need to understand your teammates. So actually I bring in also Ava AI coach to help them to do their personality test so they understand themselves and understand others. What is their, friends, group mates, communication style? And a lot of time they came out at the end of the course and they have interview for their internship and they said, wow, Professor Tech, I was just thinking about you when I'm showing up in my interview because I didn't realize that, this is kind of neat, what you've taught us to communicate our values, but how to show up with integrity. And in that room, the interviewer chose me because I set myself apart from any other candidate. So I'm bringing in that comprehensive functional experience, just like in the world of work, also help them to communicate and tell them you're unique. No one is like you in the world. So show your strength, show your values in a way that you can connect with the audience, but at the same time, focus on your integrity and your goals.
I love that. So, with your 1,500 plus of coaching hours that you have coached individuals, what qualities have you seen that are consistent, in leaders who are able to successfully drive that change?
Yes, so humility, curiosity, and discipline are the three I've seen. A lot of leaders came to me and say, Ava, I got to where I am today because I'm really good at problem solving. But when the problem becomes so complex, especially in digital transformations, they said, I don't really know what to do. And I told them, well, you can always ask questions. You can ask better questions and you can teach your team. That's why I'm bringing in that design thinking, that coaching experience, teaching leaders how to coach their teams. And they're amazed. They're like, wow, I can lean on my team. And that is a part of the coaching app as well. It's unlike generative AI. It's really based on the neuroscience of coaching. So it's only prompt you questions, and a lot of leaders have to think about accessing the answer within them. And through that practice, they ask better questions, and that is the foundation whether I teach coach client is how do we improve our curiosity and our critical thinking for this day in age, in the era of digital transformation and AI.
Well, congratulations again on your app and on your book. I want to take a quick break. And then when we come back, I want to talk about how you are expanding your business into local government sectors nationwide. And I want you to tell us a little bit about what you can offer to local government as well as any other type of public clients.
Why wait on your dream job? At Houston Community College, tuition is only $33 per credit hour. With flexible schedules and campuses across Houston, HCC makes it easy and affordable. Houston Community College.
When a child is sick, there's one thing they need: a really big cookie.
Welcome to RMHC.
We're not big on poking sticks and beeping machines, but we're the best at playing dress up. We think the Tooth Fairy should travel everywhere, and while hospitals have doctors and nurses, we have mom and dad. Because at Ronald McDonald House Charities, we help families feel at home, even when they can't be.
Where I come from, they call firefighters the bravest. My dad was one. We lost him 3 years ago. First Responders Children's Foundation gave me a scholarship so that I can become a nurse and help people just like my dad did.
Help us help them.
Welcome back, and thanks for continuing our conversation with Avva Thatch, who is the CEO of Avva Thatch Management Consulting. And Avva, I know we covered your app as well as your book, but one of the things that you're currently working on now is expanding your business into local government sectors nationwide. Tell us some of the things that you are offering to public sector and private sector businesses.
Yes, so I've been working with public sectors and as well as private sectors. And for enterprise, I've been coaching leaders from over 60 enterprise. And on the local governments here, I work with Metro Houston and even HCC to help corporate clients. And a lot of the things I do is spin from the experience in digital transformation. So whether we're local governments, whether we're institutions, the principle is the same. How do we bring that human element into innovation and combine with the data insight? So a lot of the things I do with corporate training leaders, with coaching skill set. I also do a lot of AI consulting and helping leaders in healthcare industry to look at, here's the data you have. How do we bring this insight, a comprehensive insight, along with just-in-time coaching training to convey more information to create into that tailor strategy that really deliver the business outcome for your business. And how do we adopt AI responsibilities? I help a lot of software as a service company to build new platform, bringing an AI into their operations securely, but at the same time to deliver values, to improve customer patients experience. At the same time, improve that well-being of the employees as well.
Well, you mentioned AI security. Is there an overlooked risk factor, when we are integrating AI into our enterprise system?
Yeah, absolutely. With healthcare, for example, there's HIPAA that we have to think about, like how do we keep the client's data secured and in general. So what can we bring in that in compliance? What else? Like in a lot of time when policy change externally, it does affect companies' internal operations and strategy a lot. So adapt to the change quickly, but also thinking about potential risk. So this is why bringing that mindset of curiosity, that design thinking, how might we tackle issues challenged with the change in the environment is very important. And what kind of data do we have? And looking at data plus also in-person survey to really have that comprehensive view to help clients.
And when you are working with these leaders, what would you say would be the most powerful question that you're asking during the coaching session that may shift the leader's perspective?
What is the most powerful? Well, that is a good question. I would often ask, like, what is your goal and with what outcome would make this worth the discomfort of change? So that really helped to frame a lot of resistance into possibilities.
So, Ava, I do appreciate you coming today and sharing all of your knowledge with us. For our viewers today, please let them know how they can reach out to you and contact you.
Please contact me via LinkedIn. My website also have my email information, and I definitely looking forward to hearing from you. And thank you so much, Veronica, for having this opportunity. Really enjoy the conversation with you.
Well, it's great having you on, Ava. Thank you again. And to our viewers watching, thank you for joining us today on It's Your Business. We will see you next time.